Hey everyone, welcome back to SSX. I'm Aesthetic. With me on this video is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
And Matt Rocks 101.
Hey, I'm Matt.
We're gonna be headed to Alaska this time.
Welcome to Alaska, team. This is a wild and organic place where man and nature have an uneasy deal to coexist with one another. But nature always has a way of taking things back for herself, and over the decades, she's turned man's modern world into a crazy playground. This is just the sort of place your average snowboarder lives for. But we're not your average snowboarders, we're SSX. So naturally, we'll send a surfer in to take on Alaska. 10A, this one's got your name all over it. Remember, there might be tons of deep powder here, but the creme de la creme ride is the pipeline. This monster snakes its way all throughout the region. And not only is it the most insane grind you will ever do in your life, it just might save your bacon too. Because when an avalanche hits, this pipe is all the high ground you'll need. Remember, Alaska is a perpetual avalanche zone and as unpredictable as a wild animal. But SSX are unpredictable too, and Alaska isn't gonna know what hit it.
It's a perpetual avalanche zone.
It just keeps happening.
It'll
Constant.
sink. It could potentially sink into the North Sea at any time.
Yeah,
like
you
can't
know,
stop it.
you know how you can see that big eye on Jupiter, right? Like the storm. The same thing from space. You can see Alaska is just a perpetual
it's
avalanche.
a
zone.
churning snow slushy. Like
Yeah.
it just
A
keeps
big-
happening
Yeah, a gigantic. Yeah.
constantly. It's like Jesus.
Yeah,
Why haven't they done anything about this yet? Can we
Well-
do anything about this?
exactly.
Friggin'
Like,
global warming
tectonic
always
plates
causing
and-
that.
Oh, okay.
What did you say about the tectonic plates?
Just yeah,
Did
what
the
can
mayor
you
vote
do
to
about
move these
tectonic
ones
plates
together?
right now? Yeah, it's got an entire like ring just below it. I don't know.
Oh man, that was an old ass reference. Nobody's gonna fucking
Yeah.
get.
No one's
All
gonna
right,
get that
but
reference. Not even me.
We're in Alaska, yeah, and we're gonna be like riding down the pipes at this first mountain. It's gonna be
Hell
pretty
yeah.
sick.
Tane?
Yeah, Tane. Yeah, the surfer dude, kind of like Brody was in SSX Tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a surfer dude to shred the slopes.
Seems awfully dark for snowboarding. Is
Well, I mean,
nighttime
it's-
snowboarding a thing
But then
people
the
do?
colors pop. What, snowboarding at night?
I mean, like just out in the woods in the middle of the night. Like I feel like that's.
I
very
mean, I'm sure there
dangerous.
are some people who do that. It's very dangerous if you
Yeah.
don't have lights.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's
Well,
you could almost call it a deadly descent.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
You could
but
almost
also,
call it a perpetual avalanche.
but also, danger is my first, middle, and last name. So
Danger, danger, danger.
yeah.
What did the schools think whenever you inputted that in?
They were kind of confused, but since I was the one inputting it, they
Also,
went
he
along
just
with
went by
it.
Dan most of the time.
Yeah.
so-
Danger.
Yeah.
Dan
Oh my
Gurr.
god.
Yeah,
That's
Dan
gonna
Gurr.
be my new OC. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, to the guy who said, like, is this gonna be like the Proving Ground LP where you know, drop the subtitle, like, in really forced ways? It's not really the same thing, because they're called Deadly Descents in this game. Like, that is
Yeah.
a term that you use, instead of just like, what is this, some kind of Proving Ground?
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
this, a deadly descent?
Yeah, like the certain levels are labeled deadly descents.
Wait, was that what SSX was called? SSX Deadly Descent?
Yeah, 2012 was originally when it was announced. It was SSX Deadly Descents.
Did they just drop that afterwards?
Yeah.
They dropped it during the marketing because
Yeah.
I guess people were like not a fan of the name. It seemed too serious.
Yeah, they rolled back the seriousness and the subtitle. Something
EA big even.
big. Yeah.
Trick it, dude.
Yeah. Time to reach into that bag of tricks.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, there's no gear for this one. I see.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm excited to see what the gear gimmick of this one's gonna be then.
Yeah, what are we going to do against avalanches?
I think I remember what the avalanche one was.
Matt, place your bets. I don't know.
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Grappling hook?
It's a very hot
No.
fan. You
I know
hold it
we're
in
gonna
front
do.
of you,
We're gonna cause
and you
global
melt
warming.
the ice. Yeah.
Whoa, wait. I'm just imagining this game now with a grappling hook. Not like the ice axes where it's passive, but one where you have to, like, throw it at, like, a tree or a surface as the ground, like, falls out from under you, and you swing, and you launch yourself forward.
imagine this
I can
game
actually see them doing that, you know,
with,
like,
like, Just
literally
Cause's
create a
grappling
jump
hook.
anywhere kind of
Like,
thing.
imagine this game with the Just Cause grappling hook. Imagine how fucking awesome that would be. If it was
I
like
mean-
a grappling hook, but I could like fucking snowboard everywhere, like
If
jump
you
and
remember-
then hook on something and like pull myself into a sick grind.
Years ago, I suggested the idea of doing like a high fantasy snowboarding game, and one of the things I wanted to put in was a grappling hook,
That'd be
Damn.
like a
fucking
hook shot from
awesome.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, dude, that'd
It'd be fucking
amazing.
sick. But it doesn't even have to be a fantasy thing. Like, just like, well, I was about to say a real life thing or a realistic thing. But
that's
it's
what I
not,
do in real life,
It's not
yeah.
realistic. It's just, you know,
It's just
Like a
cool.
modern contemporary.
yeah,
set.
something more modern.
Is that the right use of modern contemporary? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't remember what that phrase means.
Yeah, I mean, like, in the X games, they're trying to implement more grappling hooks in events, so, you know.
Wait, really?
No.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
The big drop-in. That's his signature.
That was cool.
Grappling hook was a real thing you could do in real life.
it's-
Because I feel like if it was, it would go in the X games for sure.
Yeah, for sure. There would be a lot of things people would do throwing metal hooks around.
I don't know why I thought that was a real thing.
No, it's just modern, you know, or real or whatever in the same way this game is modern or real, where they're able to, you know, flip 10 times in the air and land their tricks damn near immediately.
Did you kill
Yeah.
that person?
It's actually like, I kind of like the small detail of like when you see, you know, them in the helicopter and they're setting up their boards and stuff. It obviously
Yeah.
looks like some kind of magnetic feet thing, and
Yeah.
it sort of
Yeah.
works like that when they like step off it at the end or whatever. It kind of justifies it a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they're able to do this more than like full on foot binding.
Yeah, and it's like they don't spend too much time
kinda cool.
talking about it or anything. They just show you there's some visual thing saying, like,
it's
oh, okay,
almost
that's
like a
thing.
little sci-fi-ish.
A little bit,
you know?
yeah.
That's what this game, like, I don't know, just its color palette, it seems more like neon cyber sci-fi.
I love the
Yeah.
color palette the game has gone with.
Again,
Yeah,
yeah, when you get tricky and the colors
I'm gonna
just
be real.
pop.
I really think this game holds up very well for a game from
Oh, yeah.
2012. Like, this
It
looks
looks
so
incredible, yeah.
much better than I remember a lot of other 2012 games looking.
Yeah. I mean,
And
like,
I think
part
its
of it
color
is
palette has a lot to do with that, too, because this one wasn't, like, gray and all that
they
other
recognize
stuff.
from the jump that they're making a
fell
game
to
that's
death.
going to be mostly white, and as a result, the pipes and the rails are largely red, and then all the accents on you when you're doing things and you're like in Super Tricky or whatever it's called are like yellow, right? And so like they really obviously picked the colors very carefully.
It kind of reminds me of that Shaun White skateboarding game, but I don't know which one came out first.
Probably.
I think
I
Sean
don't know
was
when it came out.
Wait,
Okay.
yeah, when did skateboarding come out?
Was that
But yeah,
2011 or 2012? I don't remember.
Look
I
it
don't
up.
know.
You know,
But yeah, like especially when like the, oh my god, like you could get legendary, you know, skins for these riders, which are a lot more money than just the standard color palette swaps, where part of it is like glowing.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of cool.
oh, 2010. That's Shaun
Yeah,
White
they really
skateboarding
leaned
game.
into that more.
Much
Oh, okay.
older than I thought it was. So yeah,
Holy shit, you leveled up a lot.
Yeah.
what's
You
the
can
most
kinda-
you think you can level up in one like session?
I think that, like, going from
That's
level
probably
1
it,
to
yeah.
level 4, like, leveling up 3 levels, because that was like 50,000 XP.
Yeah.
I guess you could get more if you go to, like, an Explore event and beat your friend's records or whatever. It's actually a little sadder than I thought, you know, the state of, like, the Xbox servers or whatever, because
Yeah.
obviously you can still, like, see your friends' record times and such, but they have been, like, locked out. Like,
Oh.
if a friend you have on Xbox Live, you know, also plays this game and gets a better time or score or such, that won't get uploaded.
Oh, okay.
Like the servers
So they just
are just
cached the last ones
Yeah.
and then shut it down.
yeah. So it really is like, you know, because I was kind of thinking like, hey, if anyone else has this on Xbox or such, you can like post your gamer tag. We can add each other as friends. Get a few more records for you to try and beat for a little more XP. But that's not really gonna
Not
work.
really
on
a
Xbox.
thing.
Damn, that
Oh.
sucks. Wow, I can't believe
Again,
you
on
survived that.
PS3, there's still more like server activity.
Wait, really? I thought the PS3 online servers got shut down entirely.
No,
Nope.
Xbox did.
Xbox did. Okay.
Yeah. I will, by the way, after we recorded part 1 and 2, or part 1 or whatever we recorded, I was thinking about the Prince of Persia games, because this game has a rewind feature that I don't think I ever used, because I just prefer not to. But this game has a rewind if you really crash. And that got me thinking about the Prince of Persia games. And I just went ahead and bought Prince of Persia Sands of Time trilogy. Well, I guess it's a quadrilogy now. And then I just played through the first one again. And man, it is weird seeing how those old games, like, even in the Xbox era, they were still experimenting with controls and like how, I don't know, it just seems really weird to me that like much longer than I expect, like, you know, like these days most shooters have basically the same controls. Most, you know, third person,
Platformers.
you know,
Or third person.
parkour games or whatever, they have basically the same controls, you know.
Yeah.
It's just weird how experimental some of these games were, even as late as the original Xbox and kind of the 360.
You know, it's funny. I was also looking at some old games that I wanted to get. I was rewatching that anime Trigun, and I remembered that there was going to be a Trigun video game back in the early 2000s, and it didn't
Really?
come out. And instead, this game called Gungrave came out that was created by the guy that made the Trigun manga. And I think that game was supposed to be the Trigun game, but for whatever reason, it became its own game. And I also remember there was a Gungrave anime that came out later. So I remember watching the anime when I was younger, and I was like, this is the most boring shit I've ever seen. This first 2 episodes, I'm about to fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like, what could the game be like that this anime was based on? And I looked up the game, and it was like a Devil May Cry ripoff, and the first level was so fucking chaotic. I could not figure out how you were even supposed to control it. Like, the guy hits start, and you just start shooting everything. Like, bullets are just flying. I don't even know how you're supposed to move or do anything.
That sounds
I couldn't
awesome.
tell if you were hitting a button to shoot, or if he just shoots automatically, and he just, like, flips in the air, and he spins around. And I'm like, are you controlling this? Or is this
That
like an
sounds awesome.
on-rails
I
thing?
want this.
Or maybe instead of you doing the movement and shooting being automatic, the movement was automatic and like every button is to fire more guns.
That's what
you
it
know?
looked like. And I was like, how did the anime be like this when the game looked like this?
A budget of like $20 probably.
I don't know. I really want to get my hands on it. I don't know if you can like find the Gungrave game easily anywhere. I'm sure I could emulate it because the guy who was playing it was emulating it. But that
I
looked
just
like
looked
a
it up
fucking
on
awesome
Wikipedia.
game.
Yeah, I just looked it up on Wikipedia. I just want to read the first line of the gameplay section. As a third-person shooter, Gungrave focuses entirely on combat and forgoes the puzzle-solving aspects of some of its forebears.
Damn.
Is that really? Okay.
Was there puzzling stuff in
I
other
guess.
third-person shooters in the early 2000s?
I guess that was a major part of it because they thought it was important enough to mention.
I'm trying to think of third-person shooters from the early, like 2001, 2002
I mean, like
that had
Resident
puzzles
Evil.
in it.
Resident Evil 4 has like
That one
some
came
of
out
that
later,
shit.
didn't it?
More, but they're like advertised more as like puzzle things. It's not like a third-person shooter where you gotta stop and do puzzles. Okay, so we're here with the gear now.
Oh, right,
This,
right.
yeah, so this mountain range's gimmick is the avalanches, and so what it does for those courses is, well, basically, it inverts the camera. You know, it's showing you from this angle, and also all the controls are inverted now. So
that
it
sounds
makes
awful.
sense. No,
Oh, really?
Okay. So like the controls, like if I'm playing this, I'm holding down now to tuck and go faster down the mountain.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
holding
yeah.
left to have my character visually on screen go to the left.
Right.
Which is how I want it to be. If this game turned into a side scroller where you had to go right, damn sure hope that holding right makes me go faster.
You know
But
what this looks like?
it is kind of like, I don't really feel great about this gimmick because
Yeah.
it is like, I never know when the opportunities are going to be or where. Like, it always ends up being a surprise. I mean,
Yeah, it also doesn't look very good visually. It looks like a mobile game, doesn't it?
It really does feel like this looks like a mobile game.
This looks
to
like
me
a
as well.
Unity mobile game with this angle and the way this is.
Which
It doesn't-
on a phone could be a lot of fun, something like this. But like,
Oh,
I don't
put
know.
through the
it
ground
seems
there.
this is. I think if I remember correctly, this was my least favorite.
Yeah.
Gimmick, because they did do different gimmicks throughout the game, and this one I was always like, oh, that's kind of disappointing.
And like, it's not, I guess it's not really hard, really. Like, even with me, never really remembering or knowing what's coming up next, I can get like enough boost to always boost myself out of trouble. But it was just like, I was not looking forward to this, and even though it didn't take very long to do, I was glad it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just doesn't look as fun as anything else. Oh man, I wouldn't even known that was the ending there. Let's see how much you ranked up this time.
Maybe if they went back to the track design of like the first few games where it was very clear opportunities, you could remember those enough to know which one was coming up when, the camera is facing away or facing this thing. But with them, more kind of naturalizing the levels, it's always like, I don't remember how much air I'm going to get off this. I don't remember if I should jump here or wait like a second to get to the actual lip. It's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But
But
this
again,
is
you only
the
have
new
to
one,
do it
right?
twice in World Tour.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's the skull avalanche.
Avalanche.
Yeah. So yeah,
There's
just,
avalanche.
don't
I'll
get
give this game
stuck in the
credit.
snow. The snow will destroy your armor.
I'll give this game credit. I think avalanches are a bit more scary than gravity, so maybe that skull I think is justified for this one.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Yeah, like a black diamond or something.
This area is too unstable to set down. I'm going to have to dust off quick and keep my distance in the air.
I'm clear! You're good to go!
Take your line, stick with it, and watch your slough on the way down. Avalanches start at stage 5 in this area. Good luck.
Ah, Dragonfly! I feel better knowing you'll be cheering me on the whole way down.
Oh, I'll cheer you on, but I'm not taking you out.
All right, bye.
Don't
survive.
joke about that.
The
Damn.
survive isn't survive down the mountain. It's now the rest of the game. This is a. It's like the long dark. It's a survival game now. You gotta get to the bottom, and then
Yeah,
you're gonna
actually,
have to
that
fucking.
was the deadly descent. Like, you get caught in an avalanche, and then it becomes like this camping, and like
Yeah.
you've got to forage for food.
Uh-huh.
the long
Wait
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked the
wait for someone
snowboarding
to rescue
mechanics
you.
of this game, but the crafting mechanics could have used some
Yeah,
work.
I didn't
Yeah.
really understand why the game became that, you know? And it's like, you get. Are we, what, halfway through the game, you know?
It gets
Like, what
really
are we-
gritty too. Like, there's a boss battle against one wolf.
I mean, how far into
Because
the
you're
game
just
are
like
we,
a
you think?
person, you know? Like,
yeah,
that's scary.
Pretty much halfway through World
Like
Tour.
halfway, so like it's like the first half is like a cool snowboarding game, and then like this is just the rest of the game now is this survival thing. And at the very end, whenever you get rescued and go back to civilization, they give you your snowboard back, and it's like cool, but like, why did I have to do survive? Like now the game's over, you know? It's like one more race and then it's over.
I thought it was really weird how in some of the characters' stories they specifically decide not to go back to snowboarding.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
I guess-
really?
I guess this
I picked this
justifies it a
character because
bit.
I like him, but like, he just gives up on that dream, huh? Okay.
Well, I mean, for Tane, surfing was always his true sport, except
Yeah.
for how he was getting, like, bored and tired of it and the whatever, and he switched to snowboarding because, Zoe was like, hey, come do this cool thing with us.
Now he's just gonna die. It looks like.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
worry.
again, always have boost
Yeah.
in these. But you know what? We're in a level 5 avalanche zone, and we're on a level 10 high, so I think it all
Hell
works
yeah.
out. That's a Trancers reference.
Yeah.
We rewatched 4 of the 5 main Trancers movies
Yeah.
recently.
Oh boy.
They offered us quite a bit to think about in terms of how time travel mechanics work, because they did some weird stuff.
Yeah, like Connor proved conclusively that in that universe there were at least how many dimensions?
Okay, I don't want to go
7 or
entirely
8?
into it, but normally in like a time travel plot or a movie or such, there's like one way you can do it, right? Or like one set of abilities you have. In the Trancers universe, like in the first movie, there's, you know, they could send people back in time and back forward in time and such. And in the second movie, they get like better technology and can do it more specific and can
change the way. And like,
yeah.
Another thing about the Trancers movies that are really strange is if you go back in time and change the past, not only do you remember what the past was like or what your future was like, but like everyone else remembers it too. So it's like I go back in time and I, let's say, kill Matt's parents. Matt never existed, but then Connor still remembers that Matt used to exist.
Right. Oh my god, yeah. So the main guy goes back in time in Trancers 1 to try and save the ancestors of like the council members of the future. He fails to save 2 of them. He keeps the third last one alive. And like when the second ancestor gets killed, all of a sudden, way in the future, that guy who had that ancestor stops existing, but everyone remembers that he did exist.
That's wild.
So, like, the council is now missing members.
Right. So, that guy in the future suddenly has never existed.
And everybody remembers him like a
and also,
what if.
Tim Thomerson is great as the main guy.
Yeah, Tim Thomerson is incredible.
So, yeah. Yeah, we could go into more detail than that, but I don't want to do that. That's SSX. But, okay, so yeah, we survived to the bottom. We did the avalanche thing as Tane, and that was all good and such. And so, yeah, one more place to go to kind of round out that block of levels before we get the next ones. We're going to be going to Antarctica and meeting back up with Moby Jones next time on SSX.